Great. So then, again, a big welcome to everyone joining us today. This is another episode in the Language Teaching Takeoff webinar series, where we are focusing on making the most of the powerful tools available in the TeacherMatic Language Teaching Edition. My name is Giada. I worked in the language education sectors for over 7 years, and now I'm part of the Avalon team. And here we are focusing on creating tools that really support teachers and make a difference in the classroom. And today, as you have seen already, we have Pilar joining us as today's host. Pilar Capaul is an ELT content creator and language teacher from Buenos Aires, Argentina. She's also a digital ambassador for International House World Organization. And today, I think she's going to do a very interesting session because this session is going to be a practical one, focused on some real classrooms examples taken from her experience, showcasing TeacherMatic AI tools for everyday teaching. And before we begin, just a few practical notes, as always. So you're welcome to submit all of the questions that you have using the chat in the same way that you just shared with us the greetings messages. We'll aim to address as many questions as possible towards the end of the session. And also note that the webinar is being recorded and the recording will be shared via email next week. And with that, I think we can make a start because we have so many things to talk about. So over to you, Pilar. Thank you very much
For
for joining
sure.
us.
Thank you, Diana. And guys, how are you doing? Thank you very much for joining today's session. As Diana said, we're going to be sharing some practical ideas. We have some resources that are going to help us plan our lessons and save prep time. So you're going to love this. Something that's super important and I wanted to share is that TeacherMatic has over 50 generators for language teaching, which means that if we need to plan lessons, we can use it for that. We can use it to adapt our content, to come up with really clear, useful examples to contextualize language. So there are lots of things that we can do with it. If we want to plan lessons, we can pick the methodology that we want to use. So it's a really nice platform. And today I'm going to be sharing only two of my very favorite generators. So the first one is, did you do your homework? And the reason why I like it is because, the moment we walk into the classroom, I need to know whether my students have been able to read what they had to read or watch the video that I shared with them. And, I need that information so that I can see where we're going. Are we going to check the homework? Are we going to do it together because they didn't have enough time at home? Um, and how can I check whether they did their homework, right? I can say, okay, raise your hands if you did it, or show me your notebooks, right? I mean, those are certainly options. But another thing that we can do is use TeacherMatic to make this more meaningful, right? So let me show you. This is my account on TeacherMatic. You're going to see some hearts here. It basically means that I love these generators. So we're going to start with this one. Did you do your homework? So we're going to click here where it says use. As you can see, I've been using it, so I'm going to get rid of this very quickly. So this generator is going to come up with summaries of the content that we provide it with. And let me show you. This is the homework that I shared with my students. This is an upper intermediate group. We meet twice a week. And we've been talking a little bit about the environment and how to take care of it, some of the problems it's facing nowadays. And I wanted to start talking about pollution, but first I wanted them to watch a video at home and do certain things just so that we could work on some activities together in class. So, activity number one, watch the following video and check if your predictions were mentioned, right? So in class, students shared some predictions, right? We talked a little bit about pollution, what it is, right? Here are the ideas they came up with. This is the video, this is the link. And then I also wanted them to design a mind map, right? Establishing some connections between the key topics explored in the video and the content that we discussed in class. So before saying, okay, show me your mind maps, because we're going to do something with them later, I want to know if they were able to actually do the homework. And I also want to know if they were able to understand the contents of the video, right? So we're going to head to TeacherMatic. We're going to be using the did you do your homework generator? And we are going to do this. Look, I need three summaries. I think three is going to be enough. I'm not going to upload a file, but I'm going to upload the transcript from the video that I shared with my students. So I'm just going to copy it, just like that. Let's see, I need to copy it. I need everything. There we go. Copy. And now back to TeacherMatic. I'm going to paste it. Done. I'm not going to use a website this time. The length is okay. This is my students level. And here I can describe my learners just so the platform knows who it's working with, right? So here's some information already. This is from the last time I created some activities for my learners. If you want to, you can delete this and describe your group if you're working with a different group, right? In this case, this is good. These are teenagers, they're full of energy. They are used to content like TikTok videos. Everything has to be fast and short. So we don't have, we need this to be very engaging. We can also describe our learners in more details. Maybe there are some special learning needs that we can share with them, right, in order for it to generate some good content for them. In this case, it's not going to be necessary, right? I don't need to, this is not something that I need to share in this case. I'm going to do this, and we're going to generate the content, right, that we're going to be using in class. What about you guys? What content are you working on with your students? What have you been talking about lately? How would you use this generator? So I'm talking about pollution and the environment. What about you? All right, so this is what TeacherMatic provided us with, right? We have a lot of information. Something that I love doing is before I do anything, I export it. We can export it as a PDF, as a Microsoft Word, we can upload it to Google Drive, or we can share it with our students via Google Classroom. That's also an option. Personally, I like using PDFs, just in case I want to use this tomorrow, in 3 months, in 2 years. I know that I have a copy, right? So I have everything I need here. So let's take a look. Here we have summary number 1. This one is correct. All the information here is right. This is summary number 2. Some details are not correct. And paragraph number 3, this one is just not right. Like there are other details that are also not correct. Here's the answer key, which I absolutely love, because if we're working with 10 different groups, we cannot remember or memorize all the things that are right or wrong in the different paragraphs, right? We just need to have these handy. So here we have all the things that we need, right, to keep handy, to make sure we know exactly what's going on, and we can help our students. And this is the thing. I think this is great. But I want to do something else. Why not? Let's push it, right? Let's push the platform and see what we can do with it. I was thinking, so this is a group of teenagers, right? And maybe many of them just don't feel like talking about pollution, and that's cool. So let's see. Add jokes to make this engaging for teenagers. Why not? Right? There are lots of things that we can do. With AI, we can say, I don't know, use the present simple, use narrative tenses, focus on this, focus on that, or make it fun. Add a joke, make it more engaging. Let's try it, right? Let's give it a go and see where it takes us. So here we have, right, our new, we have this new output here, for example. So let's see, it says, for example, burning fossil fuels releases so much carbon dioxide that the atmosphere is like, help, I'm full, right? Which leads to climate change. it's a little something. It's just a little something, but it makes it more engaging, right? It's fun, it's different. It's not a common textbook. It's something that I created for my learners. What about this one? Scientists are working hard to fix these problems. They're basically the superheroes of the environment. So it's a nice way to talk about this, right? It's a different way to go about a serious topic. So I can copy this, right? Or I can just click here, copy. And now I'm going to do this. Look, so let's write today's date. Read the summaries below and pick the right one based on the video you watched at home. Right, so now I'm going to paste this. Right, I'm going to remove this because this is for me. And we already have a very nice warm-up activity to start the day for students to, start thinking about all the things they learned at home, the things they want to share in class. So it's a lovely way to check whether they were able to do their homework or not, whether they were able to understand the contents of the video, text, homework, whatever it is that we shared with them. So definitely a lovely generator to use and for you to check out if you haven't already. So people say, fabulous, I like this. Yes, yes, me too. I love it. And let me show you another generator that I absolutely love using. It's this one, inspiration. Like sometimes we have to cover topics that are not very fun, right, or engaging, and that's okay, right? We have to cover them. But it's very difficult to come up with ideas to make them relevant, meaningful, fun, cool. And this is exactly what this generator does. Just in case, if you're new to TeacherMatic and you've just signed up, you've just created your account, and you don't know where to start or what you can do with these generators, remember you can click here where it says generator information, and you can learn a little bit about what you can do with it, how it works, right? There are some friendly reminders as well. So that's also super important if you're new. So let's see. Use. We're going to click here. There are some things because I've been using it already, right? So this is the thing. I was thinking about a group of adults that I'm working with. Um, they all studied English before. They learned a bit when they were at school, and then they tried again, but they had to drop, and now they're trying again. So, for example, they've talked about the present simple, I think, a million times, and they don't want to talk about it anymore. And I totally get it. But the problem is that whenever we have a chat, I can see that they actually need to practice. So how can we make this more engaging? How can we do this differently? I want to approach this tense in a different way. So let's do the following. We're going to go with 10 suggestions, right? Maybe you need five, maybe you need two, one, I don't know, up to you. But we're really going to push it this time. We want to see how far we can go. So we're going to ask for 10 suggestions. And instead of talking about routines, right? Like he goes to work and she goes to the gym. How about routines around the world, just to make it more interesting? A lot of people love traveling, so why don't we talk about that and different cultures, right? This is my students level, right? I'm going to click here. Where it says learner profile, I'm going to describe them. No, maybe how about busy adults, not very patient, right? Because they just want to make progress, right? So I think this describes my students really well. Let's see, supporting materials. In this case, I just need to work on the simple present. I just want some fun ideas to practice. I don't have a file or a transcript or a website. If you do, you can use it. You can share it with the platform. But in this case, I don't need one. I don't have one. And additional settings. Let me show you. So we can pick, right, the model that we want to use. In this case, we're going to go with CLT, right? Learning needs, we have some options, right, which is really useful, especially if we're working with lots of different groups, right? And we might not remember some things, so the platform is here to help us. I don't need this right now, right? There's nothing I have to share with the platform in this case. So let's generate, all right, some ideas. And in the meantime, let me know, guys, in the chat, what topics are just, I don't know, a bit boring, or when is it difficult for you to come up with creative ideas or fun ideas? Maybe it's a tense, I don't know. Maybe it's a topic that's just a bit boring, right? And it's difficult to come up with ideas. All right, so let's see. Let's see what we have here. So we have activities to inspire, so routines around the world. How about this one? Morning routines matching. So we're going to give learners cards with pictures of morning activities, right? And they have to describe these routines in different countries. For example, in Japan, people often eat rice for breakfast. I think that's a very nice way to go about it, right? It's not like I go to work at 7, I wake up at 6, right? It's a nice way to go about it. What about this one? Daily schedule role play. So students are going to play the role of a person from another country, and they have to use simple day. They have to, yes, use a simple daily schedule provided. For example, in Italy, I have a long lunch until 1 p.m. and their classmates have to ask them questions. So a very nice way to go about it, right? Why not? We can work on question formation as well. So take a look at all these lovely activities, right? And these are not just like course book activities. These are activities that were created thinking about our students, right? Um, you tell me, guys. I actually love this, but would you refine this? And if you would, how would you do so? All right, make a game. Players have to ask opponents to make correct sentences. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. Why don't we try it? Generate or I don't know, come up with more games, right? Let's see what happens. We want games. We want to have fun, right? We want to give our students points and prizes. So let's see how it goes. Any other ideas or any other topics? Any other structure you'd like to cover with your students? All right, take a look at this. So we have some nice activities. So we have bingo, right? What about this one? We have a board game. Someone here just said we should play, right? We need a game. So how about a board game? What a lovely idea, right? So create a simple board game with spaces that include prompts like talk about a bedtime routine in another country or describe a morning routine. Sounds lovely. Sounds really, really nice. We have some challenges as well, routine memory challenge. So show students a short list of routines from different countries. For example, in England, people drink tea at 5 p.m. Hide the list after a minute, and in pairs, learners try to remember and write down as many routines as they can. Sounds cool. The pair with the most correct routines wins. What a lovely way to go about it. Because instead of thinking, oh, I have to add an S, right? She, he, it, right? They're just thinking about winning and remembering ideas. So it's a lovely way to go about it. I'm going to do something I don't want to forget. I'm going to export it as a PDF, right? I'm going to save it, right? I have the name already. So if I want to use this tomorrow, in 3 months or 5 years, I will have this PDF with me. And I can also copy it, right? And I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to plan my lesson, right? So for example, this would be lesson 3, right? Classes just started here in Argentina. So for example, I'm going to use this one. I love that one. Gives a routine, definitely. And I am going to use this one, activity number 9. I loved that one. So now I have 3 lovely ideas for my next lesson with my students, right? So I'm ready to go. And I also have a PDF with lots of other activities that I can use for revision, maybe to test my students to see how they're doing, if they remember everything, if there's something we need to go back to. This is also something that I can share with colleagues, right? If we're all working on the very same topic, hey, I have a bunch of ideas. You have to try it, right? And let me know how it goes. And then maybe I can try some of them as well. So there we go. Lovely. So back to my presentation. I would love to know, guys, um, here, if you've tried some of TeacherMatic's generators already and your thoughts on them, of course, and which one you will be trying next. Would you like to use the ones that I shared with you? Let me know, and also what topics you'd like to cover with them, right? And if you still haven't signed up, you should. So here's a QR code that you can use to sign up today and start exploring the platform. You can check it out, start creating some resources. All right, definitely. I'll check it out. I'll sign up. All right, I need to explore them. Yes, yes, for sure. You should. Definitely. And remember, there are lots and lots and lots of generators for language teachers and language educators. So if you want to learn more about TeacherMatic and all the things that we can do with it, signing up now. Yes. So if you want to learn more about
Amazing.
TeacherMatic and all the things you can do with it, make sure you join Jo. In April, she's going to be delivering another webinar and she's going to be showing you how to use other generators as well. Signing up as we speak. Yeah, you have to let me know how it goes.
That's great. Thank you so much, Pilar. I think it was so insightful to see what you can do with it, right? Because it's
Yeah,
like you said, these are very simple generators, very simple tools, but that it really kind of sparks your creativity as a teacher when you need new ideas just to take things from a different perspective, I think. So thank you so much for sharing your insight and your experience.
absolutely.
And with that, I think we are at the end of the session already because the time flies when you have so much to talk about, right? But
Yeah.
before we finish, if you just share again the slide about the next webinar, that would be great.
Yes.
So I'm just sharing here in the chat the link with everyone. So that's the direct link to book the next webinar in the series, which is going to be hosted by Joanna Szoke, as Pilar mentioned before. It's going to be a very interesting topic as we're going to talk about assessment and feedback. So I'd recommend you to join this session because it's going to be a very interesting one, like the one that Pilar successfully delivered today. But yes, so the next webinar in the series is on the 16th of April. The time is the same, so just make sure that you secure your place using the link that I sent in the chat. We'll also include it as part of the follow-up email with the recording that we're sending next week. So thank you very much, Pilar. I think it was great. Everybody was really happy with your presentation. We hope to see you again soon and also everybody else. So thank you again.
Thank you, Diana. And guys, thank you very much for joining today's session. Hope you found it useful.